morning, everybody. Right here from the Excellence in Podcasting Network. Ken Nowitzki here, Into the Storm. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Been away for about 10 days, and it was exciting, man. We took a westward swing. My wife flew out after last weekend and joined me in Montana. I went from Camp Verde, Arizona in a show and flew out of Phoenix right into Kalispell to Glacier National Parks Airport. Gorgeous. Flathead, Montana is beautiful as it gets. Kelly flew in from Minneapolis, and we decided we were going to spend the entire week going through Montana and checking out all of the sights and sounds that we could in 5 fun-filled days to see if maybe Montana is a place where we'd like to call home at some point. Now, anybody who knows anything about me knows that I love the real Midwest. You know, whether we're talking Wyoming, Montana, Northern Idaho, that's where I like to be. It's beautiful. The mountains are gorgeous. I've lived in Minnesota for the last 20 plus years, and it's beautiful. The politics are no longer part of my liking, but the state in and of itself, northern Minnesota, is as beautiful as it gets, but there are no mountains. None. So if you want to come to Minnesota, come to Minnesota. But if you're looking for mountains, you ain't going to get any. You'll get some nice hills up, Lake Superior, Duluth up there, Grand Marais on your way to Thunder Bay. Gorgeous. The Boundary Waters, second to none. Minnesota's beauty is bounding. But their taxes are ridiculous, and their political leadership will lead you astray and take your money. They'll take your money and waste it. But outside of that, it's I also grew up down in the tropics. So I've been very blessed in my life. I've lived on the beaches, I've lived in the plains, and now I'm looking out west in the mountains. So we started in Libby, Montana. If you've never had a chance to be in Libby, Montana, town of about 3,500 people, gorgeous mountain town, beautiful scenery, waterfalls, a big dam, lake. This is the epitome of a mountain town. Spent 2 nights there, went down to Missoula, Montana, checked out the University of Montana. Go Grizz. Probably would never want to live there. It's a little bit too hustle and bustle. 70,000 plus people. Great place. A lot worse places in the world to be, but I just don't know that that's where I personally would want to be. And then we went to Big Fork up through Polson and right on Flathead Lake, and gorgeous country. Snuck up to Sandpoint, Idaho, and went up to Whitefish a little bit for a day. It's beautiful country out there. And then Kelly flew home, and I flew into Sonora, California for last weekend's 2X Monster Trucks Live soiree. And I'm going to say this, and I mean this with every ounce of who I am. I live in Minnesota. It's a blue state. It's blue in Minneapolis, Duluth, and here, unfortunately, in Olmsted County. But the rest of the state is very red. And that's just how the republic works. Where the center populations are, they get to dictate with their large voting numbers how a lot of us live. But when you spend any time in California, because we've been out there, barnstorming California. Peyton was out there with me in Santa Maria a few weeks ago. I was in Tehachapi not long ago. I was just in Sonora. It's as beautiful a state as you're ever going to see. And to see what's happened to California is just truly sad, whether it's the fires and the mismanagement of funds and resources to prepare for those fires or to try to stop them before they started. The ridiculous laws and the things that blockade people from living truly free lives. If it can happen in California, guys, it can happen anywhere. That's an absolute fact. So please understand that we are in a boat going down a river, and we're trying to figure out where we're going. Monday of last week, 1 week ago, we had a chance to watch the State of the Union. And, I took away from that several things. The first thing is we are seeing the death of a national political party on a scale that is incredibly impressive. To have this type of an implosion, lack of direction, rudderless leadership, poor decision making, and the optics of poor decision making and bad choices is beyond me. And it falls into what I like to call the 80-20 category. 80-20, 80-20. Because the left and the mainstream media are trying desperately right now to find a way to change the narrative, to find a way to stop the hemorrhaging of the Democrat Party and the far left progressive movement. They're trying so hard, but the one drumbeat they're always talking about is democracy, democracy, democracy. And the irony in that is when you choose 80-20 topics, men playing in women's sports, 80% of the population thinks that's wrong. 20% thinks it's okay. That's a hill you want to fight on if you're a Democrat for the 20%. Well, democratically, okay, if you're democracy's under attack, well, when you're looking at 79 to 80% of the population that says no, biological males should not be able to compete against biological females. Well, then I don't see how democracy is truly under attack from the left, because democracy is working. 80% says no men in women's sports. 20% says it's great. What could possibly go wrong? But yet, democracy's under attack. Seems to be working pretty good. Wide open borders, illegal immigration. People that are in our country illegally should not be here. 80% of the population says that shouldn't be the case. 20% says it's okay. Once again, democracy that's under attack seems to be working really, really well. Okay? But the media is desperately trying to dig in. And they're trying to figure out how they can stem this, because their beloved progressive party, the party of gigantic spending, of criminals running rampant in the streets, gang members flowing across our southern border with child, trafficking and fentanyl. It just is insanity what has happened. Not able to prosecute criminals for stealing from you or taking from you or hurting you. We live in a very different universe than the progressive left. And when you step back and you see what's happening, enough has become enough for a great portion of our country. Can't do it anymore. We're done. The bullshit's over. And the media's trying, the Democrats are trying, but some of the things that the Democrats are doing is just mind-boggling. I mean, refusing to acknowledge a young man who has successfully beaten back cancer and is honored by the president and given the honorary award of being a Secret Service agent. That is second to none. That is gorgeous. That's great. Humanity would say that is everything that is right with our republic, and not one Democrat chose to applaud or stand. You've got moms that have lost beautiful daughters to people that aren't even supposed to be in our country, and they're being honored and remembered, and having national parks named after them. These are all things that are truly, in my estimation, the greatest of what we have to offer in humanity. When we have that moment where you can connect with somebody that has lost something so precious and dear, to see people sitting on their hands and holding up stupid, ridiculous signs, and I just don't know how to take people serious like that. And I've said for a long time, I don't think the Democrat Party to me is not a serious party. They don't offer solutions. They have very little answers. They're great at bitching and complaining and jumping up and down and screaming. But when it comes to serious solutions, I just don't see it, man. The coach in me kind of shakes his head. The human being in me just kind of is in disbelief at the fast descent of the Democrat Party and what it's become. What I would say is this. We've got some tough roads ahead. There's no two ways about it. Trump isn't perfect. President Trump isn't perfect. Elon Musk isn't perfect. They're not perfect people, but to see hardworking Americans, farmers, plumbers, electricians, nurses, teachers, people that work the counter at fast food restaurants or people that work in gas stations. When you start to get your paychecks and you realize how much of your money is being taken, it's kind of disheartening. You got to work 2.5 hours every day before you even get to start making money for yourself. You're paying for government programs. And to have somebody like Elon Musk come in, who is obviously, despite what these idiots on the left are saying, an incredibly bright, intelligent person. He surrounds himself with incredibly bright and intelligent people. To have them take their time, come in and work to fix the books, to stop the bleeding, to find out where your hard-earned tax dollars are being misappropriated and wasted. And they're finding billions and billions of wasted dollars on programs that would make blood shoot out of your eyes. I don't see how anybody could be against that. But lo and behold, those on the left are having a tissy. They're burning their Teslas. They're damaging Tesla dealerships and just creating havoc because they don't like Elon and Doge finding misappropriated funds that are your money and my money. I work my ass off constantly, and they just can't handle it. And they're fighting. They've got progressive judges that are up there saying that what the president is saying is not true, and $2 billion of foreign aid needs to go out, irregardless of whether or not it's legitimate. We've got more corruption being exposed in the last 2 to 3 weeks than we could have ever imagined. We just caught 3 or 4 people working in the United States Department of Defense that have been caught, and they're going to be charged with treason for leaking secret information to our enemies. We are finally starting to have an exorcism of the stupid, of the waste, of the blind. And it's a beautiful thing to see, but I want everybody to realize it's going to probably get worse before it gets better. Because as you exorcise these demons, they're going to fight like hell to stay. They're not going to want to go. And it's not going to get much better because the media is not going to paint it in a positive light. You're going to get a derogatory Trump, derogatory Doge, derogatory, people finding things that shouldn't be out there in the light, and they're going to do everything to suppress it, misdirect you, gaslight you. But the reality is we've got very intelligent people in positions of power. They're not screwing around anymore, and they're taking names and kicking ass. That's what I voted for. Secure borders, get rid of the drug dealers, the fentanyl dealers, the crime, the criminals, get them out of here. Secure that border, make our streets safer, spend our money wiser, give me more of my own money, start balancing out these deficits with trade nations that we have, make that fair. All of these things are going to take time. But in 1 month, we've seen the formation of something incredibly strong, and it's going to get better and better, but it's going to appear to get worse and worse because the far left, the progressives, and the media, the mainstream media, is going to fight this tooth and nail. I don't claim to have all the answers. And that's one of the great things about going into the storm here with Ken Nowitzki. I can promise you that I'm an average person that works really hard to provide for my family. I'm out there doing what I need to do to make my life better. I search for answers. I'm amazed at the people that I know that are on the left that somehow seem to think that this is all okay and have allowed this to permeate for the time that they've allowed it to permeate through. But they genuinely are misguided. But understand, 18 to 20% of this republic are 100% against Elon Musk and President Trump and all of the efforts that he's trying to take to get this country back on track. So when you hear them saying democracy's under attack, our democracy's under attack, you can pretty much tell them to go pound sand. because the president won in a landslide, electoral college landslide. He won the popular vote. And if you look at the red-blue map of our great republic, it is very, very red. And he has done more in his first month in office that he said he was going to do, he campaigned on, than anybody could have ever imagined. So democracy is not under attack. What's under attack is stupidity, wasteful spending, horrendous leadership practices, and a loony-ass left party that has permeated and used your tax dollars to further their agenda, from everything from confusing our youth to putting men and women's sports to breaking open our border to not attacking and punishing criminals to basically allowing chaos to reign supreme. That's all coming to an end, and the funnels of money and the tracks of money that are going to these organizations that allowed them to pretend that they had the narrative, they're being cut off. And that's why they're fighting so hard to stop this. Trust me, democracy is not under attack. Democracy is being enforced. And it's being enforced wisely, and it's being enforced with great strength. So you guys, stay with me on Into the Storm with Ken Nowitzki right here in the Excellence in Podcasting Network. I just wanted to kind of chime in and catch everybody up. I know my daughter Peyton wants to get in here. She's politically opinionated as well, and she's young. She's got opinions of a 25-year-old, and she sees everything that's happening. She's beautiful. She's intelligent. She works hard, and she wants to climb in sometimes and talk politics. So we'll probably bring her in and let her bloviate with me as we work our way through all of these times. But, you know, the last 10 days have been amazing, and I'm so blessed to have a partner in my life that loves to just throw caution to the wind and go travel and do things and experience things and explore. And I would say to anybody that's out there, if you get a chance, definitely head out there. Check out the Tetons. Check out Glacier National Park. Check out Yellowstone. It's so worth it. It's just such a beautiful trip. The mountains are unbelievable. The bison are everywhere. The nature, the big blue skies, it's second to none. So it's truly God's country. And we're blessed to live in a republic where we have everything. Deserts, plains, rainforests, tropics, mountains. We've got it all. And we're incredibly blessed to have all of this. So get out and experience this amazing place we call the United States of America, and enjoy every moment of it, because we don't ever know when that moment might be our last. So love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. God bless. Please have an amazing week. We'll check back in later as we work our way through all of these twists and turns that are this amazing republic, and our representative republic at that, constitutional republic. So all the best. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you guys again next time. Into the Storm with Ken Nowitzki. See ya.